Welcome back everyone to our gameplay series of Transport Fever 2. Now I'm sure you guys probably picked up on something that I totally forgot to do toward the end of our previous video. And that is when we were dealing with the fuel route, I forgot to get rid of the existing land route for our trucks, or should I say our horse and carriage. So we're going to do that first right now and get that taken care of. That should definitely help out with the long-term viability of our train route. So let's go ahead to fuel. Let's highlight all 10 vehicles and get rid of that. Now we'll come in under the line manager. And let's see, where is... There we go. We'll get rid of this route. And now that should, hopefully, give us quite a bit more demand. I see 9 there now. So yeah, it's going to be at 9 before this one even gets down there to drop off. So that should help out quite a bit. All right, so before we go any further, something I talked about in the last video, let's go ahead and get rid of some of these stations that we no longer need. Who knows, we might be putting these back at some point for another purpose. But for right now, they are not needed. And I'm just going to try to clean up my mess along the way. I'm going to leave the stop. I'm not going to get rid of the stop right now. But, let's see. How much does he have this time? Ooh, only 8. All right, so not great. We may have given him even more capacity than he actually needs. Let's see how we're doing here. So it looks like we've got an upgrade up to 200 on production. We've got some oil that is stored, which means that production is still going on. Yes, so it's slower than I had anticipated. Let's see how much he picks up this time. Probably around the same amount. Only 5 this time. Okay, so we may have to adjust that line at some point, whether it means trying to get more capacity, moving oil down in, or simply getting rid of 1 or 2 of those cars to reduce the capacity on the back end. Either way, we'll take care of it at a later time, because right now, quite frankly, we are making tons of money on this, so I'm not going to worry about this route at the moment. 1.1 million, 400,000, that's what I like to see. It's time to move on to another city, so let's move around. Let's see, this is probably a pretty good one right here. Let's go back to... Let's see, buildings. And okay, so we need the bricks down here at the bottom. So I guess that would mean we probably want to put our station right in here, maybe. Let's see if that would even work. Okay, we'll use a terminus station, and let's swing this one around and see what happens. Okay, it does highlight the bricks. I might even want to put it up here, but I'm not sure that's a great idea. All right, can I angle this anymore? I don't think I can. I'll put it this way. We're going to try it. And if it doesn't work, we'll come back and we'll try something else. Okay, so I think I'm going to use this side of the road and just try to come in as best I can on the back end. And we'll just hope it works out. All right, so that lines up nicely on this end, but boy, that is going to look weird on the other side. But hey, we're going to deal with it as best we can. Okay, let's put that one there, and then we're going to do another terminus on this end. And I think I'm going to have to back it up to this road. Well, maybe I can't back it up to that road. I may have to do something similar to what we did in the previous video and drop it in right about there. And then once we get rid of this existing... All right, let's put it about right there. And then let's start... All right, so then we're going to go ahead and get rid of this, all the vehicles. Okay, normally, once again, you would want to do this on pause for obvious reasons, but All right, so we should be... Okay, apparently I already got rid of it. I didn't even realize I even gotten that far. All right, so let's see if this works out. There you can see the connection. And yeah, okay, that works. So now let's try to run our tracks down. This one shouldn't be too big of an issue. That's fairly straightforward. 75s across the board. And then, so we're just going to do something like this. And something about like that. And then try to connect it on from there. So not full speed, not the full 75 the entire way, but I think we should be okay at the end of the day. All right, so let's make sure, okay, we get at least part of this highlighted, and I think that'll be enough. My worry here is that this quarry is not going to be able to supply everything that we need to make this profitable. So that's what we're about to find out. And if it's not profitable, then we will simply remove our trains from it. We'll go back to using the land vehicles and move on about our business. Okay, you can see we got the 260 mogul that is ready to go now, which is awesome. All right, so let's go ahead and we need to purchase our first one. Now, we don't need the mogul. In fact, I'm thinking we can go general to keep our costs down. And our cargo is what? We're dealing with rocks, right? Yeah. So I believe that goes in the gondola. It does. So let's go 28 capacity. And actually, that might be too much right now. We're going to have to find out. Maybe the additional capacity will help out enough. Let's see. Forgot to make our line, so we'll go ahead and do that. So stop 1, stop 2. All right, so surprise, and this is rock or stone. And there we go. Let's get that up and moving. You can see we've still got our vehicles moving for this, so I'm hoping that quite a bit of rock starts jumping out there. All right, let's go ahead and get this guy reversed so he can pick up whatever might be here right now. So we didn't get very much capacity, only 28. So I'm hoping keeping our costs down will pay off. And now let's come back in under our line. All right, so surprise, we have a time of 3 minutes. So not great, but I don't think it's going to be awful either. So we'll just have to keep an eye out for the demand. I like what I'm seeing here. Maybe it'll be up right near full capacity by the time it gets back. And hopefully we can make some money on this particular route. Because right now, I mean, the bricks, we've got a nice amount of bricks that need to be picked up. So let's go ahead and prepare our second station. We'll get another set of platforms up there. I can't tell you how many times I've accidentally hit this one and messed everything up for myself. It has been too many times to count. Okay, let's escape out of that, come into our normal tracks, and I'm just going to go ahead and, to keep things simple, I'm going to connect this from both sides. All right, how much did it have there? Okay, a pretty good load, I believe. I got to see the tail end of that, but okay, so it's getting there. Not as high as we would like to see, but it's getting there. All right, let's go ahead and pause it because I am ready to get another train. And this train is actually going to have, we're going to put about the same amount of capacity on it and see if that works out. As a matter of fact, let's just go ahead and do basically the same setup as what we had. So we're going to do the general and cargo. This time we need the bricks. What are they? Are they in box cars? No, they are in... Okay, so they're in the flat car. Okay. So let's go ahead and start out with 28. And hopefully we'll be coming back in. Oops, I forgot to set up the line. So let's come back out and do that. There we go. Change our name. And these are the bricks. Now we need to do a little bit of work on this one. So at the surprise branch, we're going to change this over to 3 to get them on different platforms. And now we can set this up. Okay, so only 2 legs to this particular journey. We'll let this guy come on through. That'll let our next guy come on out. And now I'm very interested. Okay, 22 of 28. That is great. Obviously, we'd like to have the full load of 28 or more waiting for us at the station, but it's not always going to happen. So now we are ready to come in, and let's get rid of the land route or the vehicle route. Okay, so we'll go ahead and get rid of those. And then get rid of the line. And that should send everything over to the train. Okay, it looks like that is working out pretty good. Okay, while I'm thinking about it, let's go ahead and get rid of... Okay, so we've already gotten rid of that one. Okay, we're in good shape. Look at that. We've already got... We couldn't even get it. All of the demand or supply that we had there. So a full load. Perfect. And we're getting pretty good demand here already. I'm sure that's going to be increased once this delivery comes in. But we're at 15 right now. And we're on our way back. So let's just follow this train here for a moment. As always, I'm fighting the urge to hit this camera icon and just ride along with the train. One of my absolute favorite things to do. And if you saw my quick review, that is a major part of that. Not because that's the most important thing in the game, because obviously there are a ton more mechanics that are going to make the break the game, but in my case, the graphics are really the biggest change to the game that changed my feelings from the original Transport Fever to the second one. Certainly not the most important thing, but it is certainly the biggest change that I've noticed. All right, there we go, 106,000 on that. Let's take another quick look at our other routes. Okay, not too bad. Small losses on some of these means that we'll probably have to go back to those and revisit that at some point. But right now, we're not going to worry too much about it. We got 11.2 million, so money is not a huge factor. Okay, there we go. Another full load for the rock. Right around 200,000 for our first route here. I like it. How much does he have this time? Okay, 16. I'll take that. Not quite a full load, but not the end of the world either. Okay, so that is taken care of on that end. So now the next question is, do we want to continue with the wheat and the food? I would like to do the wheat, if nothing else. But we'll see. This could get a little bit tricky. Let's see how this might line up. Because this is another one of those situations where, I mean, we've got tons and tons of demand. And I would like to take full advantage of that, if at all possible, to maximize our income. So let's see. If we connect that, immediately you can see the highlight over here at the farm. So let's see. I'm going to want to go in that direction. So let's just drop that one there. And drop another one here. About right there. And just real quickly. Okay, it's way up there. Okay, well that's just going to make it fun. I was kind of hoping it was going to be somewhere that was going to be easy to get to, but clearly that is not going to be the case. All right, because my plan was to have a route coming down here, but then expand this one so that it could go like over into this area, but that's not going to work. We're going to have to extend up into here, which is okay. We'll make it happen. I think since all of this area is covered, I think we can make that work. But first and foremost, let's finish up our initial here. Okay, there we go. Okay, that was pretty simple. More or less a straight route. And before I forget, let's go ahead and set up the line. And so we'll call this one surprise wheat. All right, and let's go ahead and put down our depot, and we'll put it right over in there. That should fit nicely. Okay, make our connection. All right, so we're going to have a huge amount of supply here. So let's take a look. What do we want to do? Speed is not going to be a huge issue, and you can see the tractive effort is very close. So we'll go with the Baldwin. Go ahead and set that up. And for cargo, we need, I think it's the gondola. Yes, for the wheat. And we're going to go ahead and get, we'll stop at 77. And we need this one on surprise wheat. Okay, we'll go ahead and highlight it. I'll tell you what, let's pause the game here for just a second while we take care of some cleanup. All right, we want wheat, which has got 30 vehicles on it right now. We need those to go away. So we'll get a little bit of money from that, not a whole lot. Okay, and we'll get rid of this. That should send all the wheat over. And then we'll take care of that. And we'll hold off on before we get rid of that one. Because I'm not exactly sure how we're going to do that one just yet. All right, so now we'll go ahead and pick up the train, get it reversed, and get it back to the station here momentarily. There we go. And already we're going to have a pretty decent load for the very first one anyway. We're going to have about 25 or so that's not bad. And so once again, let's come in and see what we can do. And we want this to be a terminus system. Actually, we might not want to. It might be easier to connect this one. And the reason I'm saying that is, if you look at the section on the left, once I rotate this around, that might be an easier way of getting to this. Now, we can't really do something like that, so we'll have to connect it. All right, so we're going to try this, but I'm not sure it's going to work. What I'm going to try to do is drop it in here as close as I can, and then drag a street over. Let's go ahead and get a city street so we can make it look at least, hopefully, decent. Okay, so what does that give us? Actually, I don't know if that's going to work or not. That is certainly not the coverage we would prefer to have, but it might actually work. Let's see, let's go to buildings, and yeah, I mean, you can see we're highlighted just a little bit into this area down here that we need. Wow, that is really cutting it close. Now, let's say that doesn't work out. We're going to go ahead and set this up. If it doesn't work out, then what we can do is just set up a stop right here, a pickup right there, and then drop it off over here at the other area. That's not a huge issue. Certainly not what we want to do, but it's not the end of the world either. So, oops, we need to expand our station to another platform, and we'll come out on the right side this time. Set up our tracks. Okay, now let's come back out to our regular tracks. And we're going to run this. Let's start on this end. All right, so we need to get Okay, so that was full speed, full 75. And it stays 75 all the way to the very end when it's going to be slowing down anyway. Okay, I like it. Let's see if we can't make it happen. And also, let's see, can I wheel this around? Again, this isn't a route we're going to have to use very much, but that should work. And let's take a quick look at how much wheat we're getting. Okay, mid-30s, probably be about 40 or 45 by the time this one gets back. Okay, so not exactly full the way we would prefer it, but I think we can work with that and make it profitable. So now, let's take a look at... Oh, wow. There is a bunch waiting to be picked up, and not great coverage from the vehicles. So I don't want to go too crazy here. Wait, we have not set up our route. We'll need to do that first. There we go. So now this will be surprise food. And now we'll come in and get rid of surprise food, the road system. Go ahead and sell off all of those. And then we'll get rid of that. All right. Now let's buy our vehicle, which once again, we don't really have a huge need. So I think I'm going to stick with the general here because we don't need a huge amount of capacity. All right, so we're gonna have food. So that's going to be actually right there in the boxcar. All right, we're going to go 35 capacity there. And then we're going to add this to food. And he should be able to hop out and get to work immediately. So we'll just let him ride his way through there. And let's go ahead and get rid of this one. All right, it has to work now. Okay, we see the food starting to trickle in. Again, the first few times it will probably not be great. Let's see what kind of capacity we've got on here. So, all right, 52, not great, but not terrible. I feel like the guy from Chernobyl right now. Not great, not terrible. We can deal with it. Food, yeah, 3's not going to make it happen. We're going to have a lot more than 3 in order to make this line profitable. But the end of the day take home is... we've gotten another city up and running, so we might need to increase our capacity here. In fact, I'm hoping that's exactly what we need to do over time. As we watch the food trickle in, again, it's going to take a little bit of time. So let's take a look at our frequencies right now. All right, so our frequencies are not great. But you can see here, our highest frequency, or should I say the lowest frequency, is our most profitable. So that's great. We got to get our capacity up. But not too bad. Not too bad. It's a start. And, you know, the thing about this game is that as the technology changes, you find yourself making adjustments to the different lines, to the number of vehicles you're using, the type of vehicles, all of that sort of thing. You might even change completely the type of transportation you're using. So we'll let this ride for a little while we continue to expand our train network to additional cities in future videos. For now, thank you very much for joining me, and stay tuned for more Transport Fever 2.